Pause Out Podcast, Controversy Corner from the Mic'd Up Studios in Parramatta. Did the West Tigers dodge a $1 million mistake in Lachlan Galvin? We got the round table going here. Gary.
Yeah, we did. I think Lachlan Galvin's form over the last couple of months has shown that he is not at this point in his career a $1 million player, and especially at our club. I don't think his play style suits the style of play we've seen from the West Tigers over the past month.
Not just our club, Gary. I think his form at Canterbury has been average at best. You know, he's got a reduced role at Canterbury. He's not the main guy there. He's not shown anything. He's playing like a guy with like a deer in the headlights. He's really been affected this season by what he's done and the way he left the West Tigers. It's really knocked him about. And I don't know that he's the player everyone thinks he is. And I definitely am concerned that it's going to take him a long time to recover from the damage he's done to himself and his brand this year.
As it sits right now, I think we've dodged a $1 million bullet, but it's too early to say. But right now, he hasn't shown the form or the promise that was, him being $1 million player. And as a halfback, having watched him at Canterbury recently, he's not taking on the line enough. He's really distributing well. He's trying to be very unselfish. It doesn't suit him. He's a run-first guy that has an offload in him. I don't think number 7 suits him right now. Until he develops a running game, I think Canterbury have still got a bit to go with.
I've done the numbers, Gary. Canterbury are 5-4 with him playing. We're only 4-7 though without Lockie, so I can't exactly say we've gone ballistic without him.
Yeah, but our playing squad's much different to what the Bulldogs is. Our start of the season was much different to what the Bulldogs were. We definitely have missed him at times this season. But to be that $1 million player, he needs to be dominating games, and he's not dominating games at the Bulldogs. And, Rob, you said that he may develop into that player. Do you think he adds to the style of play that the West Tigers are playing at the moment? Do you think he fits into that structure?
At his best, I think he would, but he's not worth $1 million. That's what the question is. So I do think he can contribute. He's the sort of guy that wants to win. There was a try he scored for Canterbury a few weeks ago where he was 10 metres behind the line and ended up backing up and making that try. That's just his willpower and his determination. But for him to be an actual genuine number 7, I think that's going to take time. And Canterbury have systems that I don't think we have, no offence to us. Canterbury have got a specific style, a certain structure they play with. He's trying to fit into that structure, but it takes away from his potential brilliance because he's just doing what he's meant to do.
Well, and the Bulldogs, all their attacking weapons are on the edge. So your halfback is distributing the ball out towards the edge of the Bulldogs. Stephen Crichton's their best player, and he's a centre. So I don't see him being able to have that running game, which I think was his strength at the Tigers. I don't see how that translates into that Bulldog system either.
He took unders apparently to go to the Bulldogs, Steve. I don't know if I can believe that with the Laundry hotels and whatnot, but apparently around $750,000 a year for 3.5 years. Do you think that's true for one, and do you think he's going to be good value as a halfback there?
I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know what the third-party arrangements are for him, or what else is there for him. But what I do think that doesn't make any sense to me is that he wanted to be the man, right? He wanted to be the man at the Tigers. He came in and he was put out by the fact that a 4-time premiership winning guy from an outstanding system wanted to be the leader in the halves, and he didn't like that at 19 years of age. Now, that is an incredible ego that is pretty difficult to back up on the field week after week. But that's what he wanted at the Tigers, and he got the dirts because he didn't get that. There's no way he's going to get that at the Bulldogs. He's so far from that at the Bulldogs. It's not funny. He's not their main kicker. He's not their main playmaker. He comes into dummy half. He feeds out a dummy half for the first 3 plays, generally in a set of 6. He's the second choice kicker, perhaps. He's not calling the shots out there. I don't know how long is he going to. Is his fragile ego going to put up with that? Like this may be the best thing that ever happened to him. He may pull his head in, and he may learn a lesson from it, but it may just fall apart massively too.
I've tried to be objective about it, Eddie, and I think regardless, you've got to give him 18 months. He hasn't had a pre-season with Canterbury. He's just gone in there mid-season, and look, he's doing an adequate job, but he's not the wow. He hasn't got that wow factor that we thought he had with us. So I think it's fair to judge him in 18 months from now. And look, I think Serraldo's a pretty decent coach. If he sees something's not working, I'm sure he'll either change positions or change the style of play that he has as a halfback.
How we let him go, Gary? Richo was very bullish at the time, said there's no way we're going to let him go. And then it seemed to me, I was quite critical. We let him go seemingly for nothing mid-season. Are you comfortable with that or not?
When I have a look at the form of the West Tigers over the last month, I don't think you can doubt that the angst behind the scenes with Galvin being at the club was causing issues. Our form slump corresponded with the time he was either leaving the club or soon out of the club. So I think the decision at this point in time appears to be the right one because our form has turned around in the last month. If our form had continued the way it was going before that, then I would have had serious doubts about it. But the last month has changed my mind on that.
We've had a history, Steve, of letting go players. I know you've been agitated in the past, letting go players mid-season and not adding to our squad. I was concerned at the time.
Yeah, with this one, I wasn't overly concerned. I thought he had to go. It was obvious that there was too much disruption within the playing group, so he did have to go. But I agree with what you're saying, Gary. It knocked the stuffings out of our club. It killed our season. It really did. Despite the bravado and despite the fact that we'll just keep going, play next week sort of thing, it didn't happen. It's taken us months to get over that. I think it knocked Benji around a lot. I think the way Benji was targeted by Isaac Moses and Galvin himself was really knocked Benji around, and it knocked the playing group around. And I think now we're starting to see the post-recovery West Tigers again from Galvin.
In fairness, Rob, this wasn't an isolated case of asking for a release. Apparently, Lockie and his camp had asked for a release 2 times before he'd even played first grade. So I guess my criticism there is maybe we should have seen that coming.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think we're a little bit gullible in thinking, he was going to stay. But to be fair to Richo and Benji, they gave him the keys. They built everything around him. He was getting the ball occasionally more than Jerome Luai, who was meant to be the main guy. I'm with Steve in terms of the fact that I think we had to cut him regardless. Even if our form hadn't turned around, Gary, so be it, because once you lose that trust within a playing group and the disharmony, that's why he had to go. And I think, I'm not going to mention other names, there's a couple of other people that had to go too because they're kind of aligned with that camp and they weren't all necessarily players. So I think it was the right thing to let him go. Look, they did all that pre-season bonding, and I think when there's one weak link and you don't trust that person anymore on the field, it's just, you maybe can dodge it for a week or two like we did against Cronulla and St George to a degree, but after that it just fell apart.
With Adam Dewey in the halves now playing great footy and Latu there, are we potentially better off?
I always thought that Latu was a player that would better suit the way that Luai likes to play. And I think Adam over the past couple of weeks has definitely shown that he is making Jerome's job much easier. He's taking control of the game and he's putting Jerome in positions where Jerome can play his best football. So I think that combination has the potential to be a really strong one.
This is not going to be judged, though, over 6 months, is it? Like, how will it be judged in the long term? Is it how well the Bulldogs play, or is it purely how well the West Tigers do in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I think both. Like, from a West Tigers perspective, I think we are showing already that we have recovered from Lachlan Galvin, and I think we've shown that we have recovered with the squad that we've got. Like, what we're starting to produce around the halves is showing me, at least, that we can go into next season confident of our halves pairing and perhaps, our spine, well, definitely our spine. So I think we're okay in that regard. As far as Galvin's concerned, I tend to agree with Rob. Right? He's a young kid who maybe there's too much on him at the moment, right? There's just been too much pressure. It's too much too early for him. I've said this before. I've said this time and time again. People are probably sick of hearing it. The way Harry Grant was brought through was just brilliant. Right? He did his time reserve grade. He came through, and when he got to first grade, he was a champion, right? And
it's pretty unrealistic, though, these days to have a character like Harry Grant.
It is, but what I'm saying is, if you want to build an Apex model, then that's the model you go off, right? And that's the one that's been really successful. He's been thrown in there. This has knocked the stuffings out of him. There's no doubt. He's playing with half the confidence that he was showing when he went into grade at the beginning of the year or end of last year, right? So I don't know. It's going to be it needs a turnaround. He's going to have to be mentored strongly at the Bulldogs. They've probably got the people to do it.
He's had a lot to deal with, but I don't think, respectfully, Steve, I don't think we should judge him on how Canterbury go. If he wins a premiership this year or next year, I don't think that defines who we are. It's what we do from here that matters. I think even though we had to let him go, even if he was going to turn into the greatest player ever, he could not carry on the way he did. And
100% agree.
And no player is greater than the club. So if he goes on to have success, and I wish him all the success in the world, good luck to him. But it's really what we do the next few years that matters. But I still think Lachlan Galvin will be a successful rugby league player.
Look, I don't care what he does over the next couple of years, and I'm
You
not
do
with.
care. You do care.
Look, as long as we're doing well, then it doesn't matter. If we're up fighting for the top 8 and especially the top 4, then what the Bulldogs are doing doesn't matter. It shows that we as a club are better off if we're up towards the top of the ladder. He didn't get us up towards the top of the ladder. I know he's only a 19-year-old kid, but how this is judged for me is based on what we do,
Exactly.
not what others do.
So, Steve, like with Moses and Tedesco, obviously it's 10 years ago now, but in the fullness of time, they've had great careers, but it's more the fact that the West Tigers have done nothing in that period, I guess, what Gary's saying.
Absolutely. Like just about like what's our care factor? Like I don't think I'd be too happy if he walked away with a ring on his finger in October. Right?
No one's cheering for Canterbury, the
But
West Tigers fans.
what if over the next 3 years he walks away with a ring and we walk away with 2?
Well, that's fine, right?
So-
That's all well and good, right? I'm just saying, right at this moment, I don't want to see him get any success, to be honest. But yeah, you're right. If we're winning football games, winning solves problems, right? If we're winning, if we're competing, we're making the top 8, top 4, winning comps. Who cares what he does?
Last quick one. Are we still struggling with retaining our local juniors, or you think this playing group's a bit stronger with a bit more to it?
Well, in Galvin's case, yes, because we wanted to keep him and we didn't. With Talon De Silva, we've basically let him go. So it's an issue, but the more success we have, the more we can convince people the West Tigers is a destination club and not a feeder club where you develop, then we'll be okay. But as long as there's a little bit of a revolving door there, we've got to go easy on Richo in terms of why he let Galvin go. We don't know the bullying issues behind that and what have you. But I will say one thing. I know it was only one game, but the emotion the West Tigers showed against the Canterbury Bulldogs a few weeks ago to get that win at Combank Stadium, that shows how much it meant to them and how hurt they were by Lachlan Galvin and the whole saga, because it actually disrupted our whole year.
Do you think it's hurt or dislike? Like, because
Both.
yeah,
Both.
what it appears to me is there's a lot of people in our club who did not get on with him and did not have a good relationship with him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on the inside, but you make a valid point there.
Isaac Moses, I know all West Tigers fans hate him, but it goes to show, like Adam Dewey re-signed, so ultimately the player was in control here. He decided to leave.
Yeah, as much as we want to berate Isaac Moses, he does get the job done for his client. And at the end of the day, that's what he's paid to do, right? I just think that his tactics are below the belt sometimes and not easy to stomach. But he does get the job done.
All right, go the Panthers, Raiders, Storm, and anyone but the Bulldogs in the finals.